Hello, hello, hello. Back with another Path of Exile 2 video. We're going to go with Monk Build 1, possibly. Basically, this is just a little bit of a breakdown of everything I've done to get from the beginning of the game through Acts 1, 2, 3 and 4, through the interludes and into maps. What skills I've used, whether I've used Holopan, whether I haven't used Holopan, what I've put into my gems. Basically give you kind of an endgame early build as it stands for you to progress through to save your currency, save your support gems, rather than messing around and trial and error like I did. Okay, so we will just go straight to the level. I am level 70. I've been on maps now since level 68. I think I've only ran like a couple of maps. Strength 101, Dexterity 96, Intelligence 92, and that's because I've just got this belt on over here. I made sure that I focused on getting a bit of energy shield and getting my resistances. So as you can see, my resistances other than chaos are full, pretty much with the exception of lightning. We've got movement speed of 25%, but obviously we do have the sprint, so that don't really matter. And then 100 spirit, and that's because I haven't done the third ascendancy yet. It's a little bit different compared to what it used to be, where it used to be you can just go through a crawl and then come back round, etc. I haven't done the third ascendancy yet. I will be doing the third ascendancy, and I will tell you what I'm going to take as we move forward. So we'll go into the skills. Ice Strike. We've decided to go with Ice Strike. This is kind of similar to the build that I ran in 0.1, with a few exceptions. Obviously, I cast on crit and I have winter. It's a little bit of a hybrid of that and the one I running 0.2, except I don't have Flicker Strike. Flicker Strike will be coming. Basically, it's not generating power charges, but it is a way around that. It's just a bit more manual rather than a bit more automatic. So, Ice Strike. We've got it quality level 20. We've got it with rapid attacks, elemental armament, crescendo, rage, and concentrated area. Okay, crescendo 3 is so good. Your final strike is ancestrally boosted, okay, which means that you get 30% more damage and 25% increased area effect on an ancestrally boosted strike. This will target 2 enemies, and your trigger skills cannot be ancestrally boosted, but again, they can be counted. Ancestry boosters counts as being empowered, which means that they do not have internal bonus, but the number of stats and modifiers specifically apply to the empowered skills. So what this means is when you do this, your third skill, it's like some Shadow of Mordor if you've ever played the game. A guy, which is a direct copy of you, shoots across and attacks the enemies, and it's pretty good, and it does apply like stun, freeze and everything like that. We'll probably move concentrated area. I'm going to look around, maybe there's some supports from Ange or other bits, but if not, concentrated area is very good. Herald of Thunder, we've got it with ambush for a critical hit chance against enemies at full life, long shot, which deals more attack damage enemies further than 7 meters from you, elemental armament 2 with more attack damage, and then magnified area to give you more area effect. Hand of Chayula is just to apply curses. So we've got Hand of Chayula, we've got elemental weakness. So this inflicts 51% to elemental resistances. Monk can get the ascendancy to do that once you get the full ascendancies, or you can get even the gem to do it. But yeah, you just basically Hand of Chayula at the boss and then hit it with Ice Strike. Heightened Curse for more magnitude, and then Curse Ground for basically creating a Curse Ground. So Charge Staff, it adds Quarterstaff lightning damage. We've got Prolonged Duration 2, which is 35% more skill. Shock Conduction, which gives you 50% more chance. Living Lightning, which triggers a lightning, basically a living lightning spirit, to damage with your supported skill. And this is based off your dexterity and your strength and everything like that. So you've got your damage and your attack speed. What happens is when you hit, you'll see like these little orbs appear, and then they chain across, as it says there. It chain attacks. It seems to create a wider area of effect for like shock and stuff like that, and it seems to proc Herald of a little bit more. I'm going to try it a bit more because I don't know if it's just maybe they've got less resistance, if it actually does work. We're going for Leech physical damage as mana. We could probably take that off because I have got a ring that does that now. Tempest Bell. Tempest Bell's been buffed. It's not as good as League 1, but it's still very good. As you can see, you need to up your quality, which gives you more damage. And then you've got Close Combat, 30% more damage when the enemy is 1 meter of you. When you're hitting Tempest Bell, the enemy is going to be within 1 meter. Overabundance, which means you have +1 skill, so you can basically get your charges for get your strikes for the bell, put the bell down, hit again, and you can get another bell. And you can actually have 2 bells up at once. Heft for more maximum physical damage. A bell does very good physical damage. And then Heavy Swing for more melee damage, again with 10%. Less attack speed, but it's more damage. Okay, you can stack this up really, really high, but it doesn't sound like a lot. There's 1,400, but you've got 4,100 per charge, and then it applies like chill, stun, electrocute. Yeah, it applies all the ailments. Frozen Locust is very, very good. You just basically, as you go, hit it, and if they give you your rage, so again, you get your rage built up. If you are surrounded by enemies, pop Frozen Locust, hit it, and then with this skill here, Frozen Spike, it basically triggers ice fragments to fly out, and they fly out, shatter, and then they create more ice fragments and shatter and stuff, and it's pretty cool. And then we've got Verglass, which destroying an ice crystal grants supported skills 1% of the damage gained. This is an ice crystal, so we gain some more damage. And then we've got Cold Attunement, which gives you 25% damage as cold, but less fire and lightning. We'll probably remove that and put Ice Bite into it, which gives you straight 25% damage as cold. Stormwave, we've got it with Neural Overload, Branching Fissures, and Elemental Armament. Probably change that and maybe put the Martial Tempo or the Rapid Attacks on it. Rapid Attacks 2, give you more attack speed. That means you can hit it faster. It just electrocutes them quite well, and the Branching Fissures, they move around. Paired that with the Living Lightning, and it looks pretty cool. I mainly use it as a skill to kind of like at a distance if they've got like an aura or something. Combat Frenzy, you need Combat Frenzy to gain your power charges, so whenever you freeze electrocute up in an enemy, you'll gain a power charge. Herald of Vast there is to give you explosion damage, so when you've seen in the video, you see these like little explosions, that's from Herald of Ash. You've probably seen it when I used to use Flicker, and it flew around the map. Magnified Area for more area of effect, and then +1 to fire skills. Gear-wise, I haven't took Hollow Palm. I've gone for a Quarterstaff. It can work well. You can get the gear. Like, we're looking, you can get a decent chest for a Divine, maybe 2 Divines, and a couple other bits, which you'll see you on quite a bit of damage. But me personally, I just prefer Quarterstaff. Used them for that long. Kind of want to continue using them. So this is just a basic one. I've got like elemental attacks and attack speed, life, critical hit chance, cold, physical damage, stuff like that. Okay, you can get better Quarterstaffs for reasonably cheap. I'm level 70, I'm using a level 46 Quarterstaff. I currently have this to move into, which is level 72, so in 2 more levels, it gives me 100 to 130 cold damage, more elemental damage, more critical hit chance, more attack speed, more dexterity, and more flat physical damage. Okay, or increased physical damage. So it's going to be a huge increase. It's not even qualityed yet. It's not even got my sockets yet or anything like that. So it's going to be a huge increase in DPS. Rings, I've gone for rings that give me elemental resistances and like just damage if possible, or mana regen. Same over here, I've got mana leech, resistances, and I've got cold. This one, yeah, that one there, most of them I've pretty much dropped, and you can find them, and I just kind of exalted them. I was lucky enough to drop a jewel that had bow skills, so I sold that for 4 divine, and I've used that currency to kind of like change it into exalted. I used the 1 divine to buy a perfect jewel's orb for my Ice Strike, and then I've just kept the 2 divine there. Helmet, evasion, I'll probably go for an energy shield evasion. Yeah, an energy shield and evasion, or just an energy shield helmet, and then take subterfuge mask. Body armor, again, I'm probably going to go for an energy shield body armor. It's what I ran in League 1, it's what I ran in League 2. I prefer a lot of energy shield. You can easily get evasion, especially currently where there's like your defenses and stuff like that. That's probably what you want to go for, but realistically you'd want evasion, high evasion about 70%, 75%, high energy shield, and probably if you're running monk, maybe CI, which is chaos inoculation. Then boots, I basically went through most of the campaign with out movement speed boots, and then I kind of got some. Realistically, you just kind of want as much energy shield as possible, and evasion, resistances. Gloves, these are just attack speed, cold damage or anything like evasion, energy shield, leech. Just genuinely any good gloves. These aren't good. You can get ones with higher evasion, higher energy shield. You can get ones with higher damage. You can get ones with higher attack speed. You can get with critical damage bonuses and stuff like that. Belt, in my opinion, I would probably just try and find a belt. Gives you 3 resistances, cold, fire, and ice, which means that you can effectively drop one of these on your rings and then turn it to another stat. Okay, these here you get from leveling, so like that you get from the guy on the mountain, and then I think there's another one that you can get by I haven't been to him yet. Life flasks, again, you can just pick them up. I don't know how good the Maelstrom is, the Maelstrom mana flask. I don't know if it's been nerfed again since League 2, but that's a good flask to use. So, what we'll quickly do before we move on to the passive skills is I'll break down in order of priority of what you should get. So I started off with Frozen Locust and I put Ice Bite in it, and then I had that with, where are you? Frostbomb and, don't know where it's gone, trying to find Glacial Cascade. But yeah, Frostbomb and Glacial Cascade. That kind of saw me to around about the end of Act 1. In Act 2, I didn't have a good Quarterstaff. You can see this in my link. I didn't have a good Quarterstaff, so I branched into Hollow Palm. I found an alright chest and a few other bits, and it practically tripled my damage. So I just kept the same things, the same moves, and branched into Hollow. Once I started to get skill points and started to drop some stuff, I got to level 14, I picked Ice Strike. Straight away I put Rapid Attacks and the Elemental Armament onto it. Obviously these were basic ones. Then once you start to progress through, I took Herald of Thunder. Herald of Thunder just seems to work far better than Ice. And with Herald of Thunder, I just genuinely took Magnified Area first, just to get that higher area. Then we went and got the Bell. The Bell was obviously, I think I had the Bell around about it was straight away actually in Act 1, because that was my boss in one. So basically what I'd do is I would hit Glacial Cascade, do some melee with a Quarterstaff Strike, drop the Bell, and then basically unload Frost Bomb and Glacial Cascade and Frozen Locust on the Bell. It caused a lot of damage. As we leveled up, then we got like Storm Wave, and then we took Combat Frenzy. Realistically, just get the Bell, get Frost Bomb and Glacial Cascade. Then when you get to 14, get Ice Strike, and then start to branch off from there. Charge Staff. Charge Staff is very, very good, and then branch into the power nodes, stuff like that. Okay, I do have a full written guide in the description that you can read, and it does explain it clearly of what I took here, there, and everywhere. If you go on my Twitch and go on videos and clips, there's clips of me throughout it, just genuinely beating bosses from Act 1 all the way to Act 5 and Act 6. And yeah, again, on social media like TikTok, YouTube, Shorts and stuff, you can see there's basically progression as I move forward. So let's go into the passive tree. Okay, this is the one that's a little bit different, and it probably will change as we move into later maps and we get more skill points. Okay, I'm still like at least 20 skill points, 25 skill points away from max realistically if I was stopping at 95. So we've gone and took skill speed, and then attack damage and attack damage. We'll probably take these critical damage bonuses, but what we'll do is we'll show you what I need to go around. So we've got for attack and cast speed there, mindful awareness for evasion and energy shield, step like the mist for movement speed, mana regen and dexterity, up to Essence of the Mountain for cold damage and freeze build up. Remember, we are using Ice Strike. If you look at Ice Strike here, it currently is where's chance to freeze there, cold freeze build up 161%. Okay, so I have a 161% increased cold freeze build up. Then we take Crashing Wave if you've dealt a critical hit in the past 8 seconds. Essence of the Storm, I've taken that later on. I wouldn't take that first, I'd take that towards the end. It can be easily dropped, it's just to give you more chance of shock and extra lightning damage. Then we went up this way and we took these attack nodes here, which is a concussive attack, which gives you 24% attack damage and a 5% chance to daze. Went up this way, took Killer Instinct and tenfold attacks for attack speed and more damage when you're on low or higher HP. Jewel Socket, we took the Jewel Socket. Then I went up here, and this was all for, like I said, between Act 3. And then instead, as I progressed through, I started to go down here. So what I'd recommend to do, you go up to here, get these, come round this way, take the 2% mana on kill, which is Siphon, and the increased mana leech. Then up here and take Blinding Strike, which gives you more attack and chance to blind. So at this point here, you're going to have quite a bit of crit chance. You're going to have some decent health, some decent cold damage. You're going to leech mana on kills, okay, and then you're going to have a chance to blind them and a chance to daze them. Okay, it's pretty decent. Once you get Charge Staff, take the Power Within, which gives you critical damage bonus and 1 to your power charges. Up here, Resonance. Resonance is what you need with Combat Frenzy. If you do not have Resonance on, you will not get power charges. Okay, you will get Frenzy charges. Okay, so with Resonance you gain power charges instead of Frenzy charges. Then we take in True Strike for the Jugular and Deadly Force. This is all for critical damage bonus and critical hits. I feel like crits currently, I need to spec into it more, but it just doesn't seem to be doing as much damage as I'd like. These, a lot more crit you can spec into. There's up here for Moment of Truth, which is critical damage bonus and critical hit chance. And there's round this corner here for more critical hit chance. Throat Seeker and Careful Assassin, again, they give you crit chance of crit damage. And then even down here, there's crit. These will give you a huge amount of damage, okay? Paired that with your Quarterstaff, and if you take a Soul Cause of the Takaba, which gives you 5% critical damage bonus, so it used to be 12, that's shocking. So it used to be 12 per one, but it's going to give you an extra 10% critical damage bonus. So it might be good. I doubt it's going to be as good as League 2, and definitely not as good as League 1, but we'll cross that bridge when it comes. Then we've taken Chakra of Thought, which gives you 8% of damage taken from mana before life, and then 15% increased attack speed while not on low mana. Okay, so when you're on high mana, you get increased attack speed. So as you can see with my Ice Strike currently does 5.35 attacks per second. It's pretty quick for Ice Strike. It can be faster. Down here, if you want to, you can get this, which is probably recommended, because you get 3% attack speed, 3% attack speed, 6% attack speed there, so there's 12% attack speed, and you get a 30% increased evasion rating if you hit an enemy. Okay, so that's really, really good, and you can come around here and take Substitute Mask as well. So, but probably what I'm going to branch down into, and I'm going to branch down to this point here, down into here, down into here, and then taking melee damage and melee range, melee damage, accuracy, melee damage, melee attack speed, and basically give me as much attack speed as possible. I reckon I can probably get Ice Strike to maybe 7 attacks per second. Pair that with Mana Leech on my gear and on the passive tree, should be pretty fine. Then you can take Spectral Ward, which gives you energy shield per evasion. Then up here we've got the power charges again, and these give you critical damage per power charge as well, so that's a good boost in DPS. Here, these give you Shattering Daze and Electrifying Daze, so it gives you a chance to daze and gives physical damage as cold, and that gives you physical damage as lightning, and then these here are increased cold and lightning damage and build up and chance to shock. Up here, Heavy Frost, which gives you more freeze build up and it ignores elemental resistances. And then Thin Ice. Thin Ice is amazing, gives you a 50% increased damage when you freeze an enemy. Alright, so you think about how much damage you actually do, plus 50% on top of it once it's frozen. Okay, it's a huge damage increase. Then we'll come down here, we are using a Quarterstaff. This is the only downside with a Quarterstaff, the amount of passive points. Okay, so realistically, you probably don't need these here. The chance to daze, the freeze build up, stuff like that. You probably don't need them, okay? But they are good early game. The reason why Hollow Palm is good for this aspect is all you need to do is branch down here to there, and you got Hollow Palm. So 3 skill points will get you Hollow Palm, whereas this has cost you 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then to even go down it, 12, 13 skill points, which that 13 skill points can be used to branch into anything. More physical damage down here, so again, look, attack damage they deal per combo, attack speed, attack damage against dazed enemies, and they got more chance to daze, attack critical chance against dazed enemies if you daze them. Okay, so there's stupid amount of points there. Maximum life down here as well. Gain damage as extra physical damage, a chance to break Mana Leech based on elemental damage when you're using like Storm Wave, Ice Strike, Tempest Flurry, for instance. You know, that is where Hollow Palm comes into its own. What it lacks in the Quarterstaff skills, it makes up for in the fact that you're saving points, especially around here. Okay, so you could literally branch down here, take these for attack speed, take this for more evasion compared to the energy shield, down onto probably down here. Don't know what that is. Heartstop? No, probably not. And then, or even leave them, possibly just branch straight down, take some stun back, stun, not back, physical, take some critical damage bonus, etc. If you look here, if you hold Alt, if anyone doesn't know this, but that gives me an extra, what, 300 DPS on my normal strikes, on my Ice Strike, which is pretty decent. So again, that is where Hollow Palm shines. Okay, what I would recommend as a new player leveling up, alright, as I said before, take these, take your freeze, take this, take these up here, come down to here, take your Mana Leech, take your Binding Strikes, take your attack speed and evasion rating, go up tenfold attacks and rapid strikes, tenfold attacks and killer instinct. Make sure you get resonance. This some more attack speed, which is going to give you a huge amount of damage. Up towards Spectral Ward, and then probably when you get here, down towards your Quarterstaff skills, which will give you a huge amount of damage as well, and then start to, as you move across, move up to here, get your cold damage, and then start to branch into power charges, stuff like that. Okay, you can branch into these power charges down here if you want to, just for the extra charge. You currently get 3 start, so once you branch into them all, you get 7, which is pretty decent. But as you progress through, your power charges last longer. When you're freezing more, you're going to get power charges back. So you kind of don't really need them, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's about it really. 0.3 is looking good. There is very, very good like synergies. There's very good possibilities for different builds. There's loads of unearthed skill points that we don't even realize. Like I want to try and take up here, which gives me immune to freeze and an ice acron, and you get cold damage, cold damage, cold damage, and stuff like that. And then down here, you get elemental resistances and movement speed based off this acron. Just play around with it, okay? Once Path of Building comes alive and allows you to put the support gems in, I will properly go into detail, go on more of a decent build, and go into like more of a kind of fine tune. But this is fine, okay? This carried me through the campaign with ease. It's a straightforward build. You Ice Strike, you get your power charge, you Ice Strike again, you drop the Tempest Bell, you hit the bell as hard as you can. As soon as you get another Tempest Bell, you hit it again. If you want to apply any weaknesses, you use Hand of Cheula. If you want to attack at a distance, you use Storm Wave. If you want to even create a bigger area of attack, take Shattering Palm and watch what happens when you freeze an enemy. You'll see a huge difference there. Okay? Any questions? Leave a comment below. Anything that you've tried that's amazing or anything like that, leave a comment below. I will leave a link to my Mobalytics build. I will leave a link to my Discord. We have a couple of people in there now, and we're starting to build up and get build guides, get a guild going, get some support and stuff. We aren't blabbing on too much. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Stay safe. Peace.